Good morning. Welcome to an episode where we'll talk about recruitment. My guests today are Ms. Agnieszka Gajewska, principal of Warsaw Montessori High School and a history teacher, and Mr. Robert Łuczak, coordinator of the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, IBDP, and a geography teacher. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start by answering the question of whether it's difficult to get into Warsaw Montessori High School. It depends. We require a certain level of language and math skills from our students and candidates, but candidates who are motivated and willing to work successfully pass our recruitment process.
In short, we're looking for people who are committed, who want to take responsibility for their own development, and who are curious about the world. So, how does recruitment for the first year of Warsaw High School work?
First, check our website, check the exam requirements, fill out the application form, and start preparing for the exams.
So, let's talk about the exams. What is the exam like? Is it difficult, and do you need any special preparation? I think it's worth preparing for all exams. The math requirements are more or less similar to the 8th grade exam. However, the exam is different because we test critical thinking and mathematical reasoning. In Polish, you don't need to know the traditional canon of required reading, but you do need to think creatively and be able to write and read with comprehension. I think it's worth adding that, in addition to the written exams, there's another stage for high school. From our perspective, we sometimes consider this the most important stage, the interview. We avoid the term oral exam here. It's not an oral exam, and we also avoid the term interview because it sounds very corporate. The goal of this interview is to provide a holistic approach to a potential student at our school, so we have the opportunity to get to know this young person, what motivates them, what interests them, what their plans are, and, importantly, answer their questions.
Are the results of the 8th grade exam important to you during the recruitment process? Typically, enrollment is completed before the 8th grade exam results are announced, so this is an additional positive aspect for students, as they approach the exam with a clear head, which reduces their stress levels. The
IB is an English language program, so, what level of English is required? The answer is the only correct one in the IB program, meaning it depends. Firstly, before the IB program, we have a pre-IB program in the 1st and 2nd grades, which is also taught in English. For the 1st grade admissions level, we expect English proficiency to be approximately B1. However, for the IBDP program, which is already the high school diploma program, we expect English proficiency to be approximately B1. In other words, for the 3rd grade admissions level, this level is the English proficiency level. It's approximately B2 or B2+. However, the issue of English proficiency should be addressed with 2 comments. Firstly, we encourage early enrollment at our school, because if someone doesn't feel fully competent or proficient in English, this gives them time to improve their English skills before they begin their studies. And that's the first thing. Secondly, within the International Baccalaureate program itself, English is offered in 2 different forms, English A, meaning as a native language, and English B, meaning as a foreign language. Different skills and English proficiency are also required to enter either level. Due to the specific nature of the IB diploma program, students can join the school even in their 2nd or 3rd year. Warsaw Montessori High School has many students who have joined us from other public and private schools, as well as from abroad.
Every year, students join the school in their 1st, 2nd, and 3rd year. They actually join because they come from abroad and are dissatisfied with their previous schools, the quality of teaching, the staff, or the school atmosphere. These students, of course, also go through the recruitment process, and we invite them to join us.
As the principal said, it's possible to join our school in both the 2nd and 3rd year, meaning they are part of the International Baccalaureate program. Perhaps it's worth adding here that this, To put it crudely, transfer or flow of students to the third grade is quite significant. Young people are seeking new development opportunities, new paths of development. They're looking for subjects like those we offer. They're looking for a different environment. They're also looking for better staff, a good atmosphere. All the elements we offer, not just the content, the merits of the IBDP program. Does the admission process differ in any way? For example, if a student has a predisposition for this program but isn't yet fully competent in the language, they still have a chance to get into the school.
This goes back to what Mr. Robert mentioned earlier. We encourage exams in the spring. Then, for a few months, a motivated teenager can accomplish a lot. Our staff and teachers at Warsaw Montessori High School provide detailed guidelines for further work and also support students who still need to work on something during the summer holidays. The pre-IBDP program itself, which is 2 years at our school, is precisely such a great communication school for our students. Classes are held in English. There are more hours of English than in standard public schools, and students develop these language skills very quickly.
Now let's talk about the type of students Warsaw Montessori High School is looking for. Who will be the best fit for your school? I wanted to emphasize that Montessori education, Montessori philosophy, and the International Baccalaureate program are not just about academic skills, but above all, a set of personal qualities. We're looking for students who are open-minded, empathetic, and independent, or at least willing to learn how to work independently. In the context of the IB program itself, we also seek and welcome individuals who want to be independent and responsible. Responsible for their own development. This is a key skill not only in high school, not only in the IB program, but also, it seems, in life. Of course, we're looking for people who are curious about the world and have the language skills we discussed earlier, as the entire program is taught in English. But above all, we're looking for open-minded individuals who are eager to learn and willing to work. Let's
now discuss your experiences from previous years. Are there any differences in recruiting students from private, public, or foreign schools? We
don't categorize students based on their previous educational experience. What's unique about our school, what sets us apart, is that we approach each student individually and personalized, and we approach our candidates accordingly. Of course, students from different schools, from different systems, public, private, British, French, German, and other IB schools, come to us with varying levels of knowledge and competencies. However, at our school, firstly, in the first and second year of the pre-IB program, we strive, and do, to prepare everyone as best as we can to ensure they successfully transition into the IBDP program. And if someone is entering the IBDP program in their third year, we always recommend areas worth working on before the school year begins, what might be worth improving, what's worth paying attention to. Moreover, it is our duty, and our pleasure, to leverage the fact that we have people with diverse experiences from different systems and schools. This is also a value of our school.
And based on your experience and our own research, who has a greater influence on decisions? Who will attend the school? The child or the parent? It's best if it's a joint decision, because teenagers need support not only from their parents financially at this stage, but also from their emotional and sometimes organizational support. During recruitment interviews, when I have family with me, I primarily address and speak with the young person, because their passions, interests, and approach to life and learning are most important to me. And a young person who isn't sufficiently motivated has little chance of success in the International Baccalaureate. However, as Agnieszka said, it's best if this decision is shared by both the student and the parents. Therefore, we are happy to invite you to our open days and to contact us directly. We also encourage you to contact us directly. We can always resolve any doubts, whether they are those of parents or candidates, during a meeting, clarify all questions, and address any concerns.
The decision to choose a school is usually made in 8th grade, perhaps 7th, or perhaps earlier.
Again, the answer is, it depends. Different people make decisions at different stages. Some take a more long-term approach. They think more strategically, I would say. They search for a high school well in advance, searching for the right program. Some even have plans, desires, intentions, and dreams for their university path as early as the end of primary school. And such people are able to talk to us during individual interviews or during open houses, even as early as 7th grade. And then these decisions are actually made at the very beginning of 8th grade. However, bearing in mind that not everyone has this approach, some make decisions later, some start looking for a suitable high school later, and some only find the right one later. That's why we organize open houses and meetings throughout most of the school year, offering, ensuring, and creating opportunities for making decisions later. And there are also those who make decisions, or let's say most people do, around the middle of 8th grade, hence our exams in March. However, there are also families, yes, candidates, parents, who only make decisions at the end of 8th grade, somewhat at the last minute. We also have a separate admissions process for these individuals. I also wanted to add that every year in September, we add 1 or 2 people, students whose friends are currently with us and share their impressions. So, the beginning of September is still somewhat acceptable for us. What do parents most often ask about during phone calls or open houses when their child is planning to attend Warsaw Montessori High School? About the results, which are above the world average, about the highly specialized staff. As mentioned, most of our teachers are academics with degrees, very well prepared for schoolwork, About the atmosphere at our school, which is, students describe it as a family atmosphere. We also discuss school trips, which develop not only students' interests and passions, but also their openness. We are an Erasmus Plus accredited school. They also ask about the support we offer students, the personalized approach, and the extracurricular activities that develop their interests. Among other things, we offer theater classes, art classes, programming, carpentry workshops, and a discussion club. The questions we receive from parents and applicants also depend on the timing of these inquiries. Families in the 7th and 8th grades of primary school will have completely different questions, reflecting the atmosphere, the specifics of high school, and how important the transition from primary school to high school is, and how challenging it is. These are the issues that most interest people at this stage. Then, when we interview applicants for the International Baccalaureate program, up to the 3rd grade, the questions are more likely to concern support in choosing the subjects offered and the support offered in the next step, namely university applications, CV writing, and cover letters. Therefore, these questions are very diverse and highly dependent on the timing of the recruitment process and the educational stage. Finally, please explain what parents should do if they're interested in enrolling their child at Warsaw Montessori High School. Visit our website, where you'll find all the information about the school, admissions, and the program. You can also contact us directly or attend open days. That's
all for today. We hope we've given you a little insight into admissions. If you have any further questions about Warsaw Montessori High School or admissions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Contact details can be found in the episode description or on the school's website. Thank you for your attention, and we invite you to watch the next episodes.